All 9 of us sat down together for dinner when my father arrived home from work. The blessing was said by my father with all heads bowed. Then the action began, eating and conversation, with ever an alert eye and hand to protect your glass of milk from the grasp of a crafty sibling. We all sat in the same place around the table for meals, my father at the head of the table with my mother on the side of father's left, closest to the kitchen door. 2 long benches on both sides of the table held 5 children, while I sat on a short bench at the far end with one of my brothers. We each had to take a helping of everything served, so we would each dutifully take 1 Brussels sprout, then surreptitiously deposit it under the table on a little shelf made by the corner brace. True, we did eat our meals around that large old table, but that table was much more than a place to eat meals. It was a hub for all kinds of activities. In the evenings, we all gathered around that table doing our homework, while Daddy was busy with his paperwork from the office. On the weekends, there were many projects around that old table. We all had stamp albums, so my father would work on his stamp album and help us with our own. In February, we all gathered around that table with red and white construction paper and glue to make valentines for our friends and secret loves. At Easter time, 7 dozen eggs were hard-boiled, and a marvelous egg decorating event took place. In the summertime, vegetables, fruits, berries, jelly, and jam were put up in jars, and we got to melt the paraffin, which was used as a seal. December was a busy time around that old table. Cookies and candy making took weeks, and the delicious aromas wafting through the house were out of this world. And of course, we all got to decorate cookies in our own artistic ways. As Christmas neared, we gathered holly and greens, and again, around this old table, delightful evergreen sprays were made and decorated with red ribbon. These prizes were then presented to each of our neighbors. Looking back, I guess my mother must have been awarding our neighbors these gifts for having to put up with 7 active, jubilant children.